Maybe G2 just get Billy, bro. It seems like that's written in the stones.
They can draw anyone, right? Like it doesn't matter if they played
yeah.
against them before. Yeah.
There's definitely tears to this.
Bro, please just no G2 Fnatic. That's all. That's literally all. As long as
No. We did a European team in the quarterfinals as well.
yeah, and they have to get there by beating Dom1 or Weibo, and then it's fine.
No.
No? Okay, you want the easy road, Perks. You changed, bro. What happened to you?
Bro.
I mean, I know we ain't winning worlds, so just get quarterfinal.
How fucking funny would it be if like
it would like make fans the world, you know?
You get Fnatic G2, they play each other, and then they draw NRG in the first round.
Oh my god.
No G2 Fnatic. No G2 Fnatic.
Yeah, no G2 Fnatic, bro. Earn it.
G2 needs to redeem themselves.
I'm the only one who is vouching for the G2 Fnatic.
Honestly, I would like a G2 Weibo rematch.
Yep.
I want a G2 Dom one.
Let Fnatic play Dom 1. Actually,
Fair.
Billy KT is pretty cursed.
Okay, Dom1. Okay, no KT, no KT.
But KT deserves like an Western team, right?
Send Billy
Draw
there.
G2. Draw G2.
Like KT deserves like
G2, come on, give us a G2.
Come on, G2.
G2 Dom 1.
Like G2 Dom1, it's like winnable for G2, but it's also
Yes,
like
yes.
they'll feel good if they win, you know?
Yes, it's perfect.
Come on,
Give it to
G2
me.
it. G2 it.
Oh no!
Wait, what?
No,
Wait, what?
man.
Wait, I didn't see. Wait, I was watching the wrong stream. Wait, is G2 KT or what?
No, KT Dom 1.
Oh, this
KT
motherfucker, bro. There's no way he does the toss, bro. There's no way he does the toss.
Please don't make it like Fnatic
Please
G2
don't make
now,
it
and it's
all
gonna be
Civil
mega
War.
Civil.
This motherfucker. Don't
G2
ruin the whole tournament.
Don't draw Fnatic.
Come on.
Don't
Oh, come on, draw
don't
Fnatic, draw Fnatic, come on. Draw Fnatic.
No.
Let's go. It's Fnatic. It's Fnatic.
No.
Come on, it's Weibo. No, come on, give us Weibo. I want to see a Weibo series.
No.
Come on. Okay.
Oh.
I mean, this is lost, no?
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Winnable? Nah,
Oh my god.
That is...
Okay, I mean, BLG did just lose 2-0 as well. So there's some hope, right?
Hey, they both on the downturn, you know?
Yeah,
G2,
no, I mean, that could be a series. I mean, G2 could win that.
Yeah.
Weibo,
shit.
Fnatic. Yo, I hate to say it, but rest in peace, Fnatic.
Oh, shit.
Ah, shit. Here we
Bro,
go
I am so
again.
down for EU to just not make it, damn. And then we can just, for a full year, I can just push the narrative that NA is better than EU. A full year, I can just push that narrative. No, it's too good.
Damn.
It's too
Ain't
fucking
no way,
good.
man.
Holy fuck, man.
Oh, man.
I think it's kind of fucked though that they played the 2-1 matches later than the 1-2s, because the 1-2s had more time now to rest and prepare.
Yeah.
Billy and G2 have 12 hours to recover from the fisting.
Yeah. True, yeah. True, yeah. Damn.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's just get into it. Today was a day of upsets, I would say. NRG beating G2, T1 beating Billy. This is day of upsets, and 100% credit to the teams, because honestly, the way they won and the way the other team lost, it's like these teams just were better. They just fucking played better. I'm happy that I don't have to sit here and do the blue side argument, you know, because I think that both NRG and T1 showcased what you can do potentially with red side. NRG doing a massive 1-2 trade for the Xayah and also getting the Rumble. It's like here, G2 not recognizing the power of the Rumble and not picking it on 3, BB not playing, right? And you see here T1 creating a scenario where they bait in the Vi to get a fat Tahm Kench, you know. These are very nice things. You see that the trades that are occurring here, the Xayah give up for the Orianna Jarvan with an Azir out, with the Nico ban. The answers into Orianna are limited, and then you get the Jarvan clean, right? There's a lot of things that you can do with red side that that do good. So I really don't subscribe to the conversation that the blue side was OP, because I think it based really hard on what the conversation was surrounding the teams and the gameplay. And I think the draft conversation is a lot more open than just you know, like the blue side conversation is really something that is such a small detail in the grand scheme of things, you know. G2 versus NRG. Here in the first game, NRG are banning Draven, Kalista, Tristana. I wonder if this Tristana ban is just to set up the case where the enemy wants to pick Maokai, because you can see there's no prior hit on Maokai at all from G2. In my mind, I am surprised that like G2 showed a weakness in the previous series that they played. It was their prior on Xayah. But an additional weakness that wasn't highlighted here, especially against Genji, is just that Rumble was completely ignored. And I've been harping about Rumble for super long. I think that Rumble is giga OP, and I was surprised that Rumble was ignored here. Here in this position, right, Nico gets first picked, which is cool and all. Orianna out, Tristana. It's like Nico is a champion that is really strong early and sets you up for success, especially as a blue side blind. It gives you a lot of freedom in terms of what you pick for jungle. Kai'Sa is the follow-up, and the reason G2 don't want to pick Maokai here is because Nico is showing. The enemy is not going to play Maokai and Nico. It's very unlikely that they play that together. And also, Nico is very good into Maokai because of W, right? It's like the W is really good and clean, and you know, you can just break the Maokai ult, you can eat the saplings and so forth. So they go Kai'Sa Rel, and it's like, considering the ban Xayah, Kalista, Draven, Tristana, picking Kai'Sa is completely fair and fine, right? I think for me here the issue is the Syndra on 3. I would have liked a Renekton lock-in. I don't know why they don't go Renekton. I think Renekton would be solid here, but they just go Jax. I don't think that BB has the finesse to carry with Jax, because I think in a lot of games where BB has been successful with Jax, hasn't been because he has really insane like Jax conditions. It has been in situations where he actually just team fights well, gets like a 4-man E or something. And I think that's like an issue, you know? So they go Syndra, Kai'Sa, Rel, Syndra. The enemy goes Vi. Vi is really good into Syndra as an additional example, right? And they blind pick Asante. Rakan, Renata, a ban to set up the Rel, which is cool. And then here, of course, NRG slammed their Senatam. I really like the Senatam. And my main concern about Senatam, like when I pulled up, like, let me just pull up the document.
1, 2, 3.
Let me just pull up the document real quick. When I did my presentation, right, on what my expectations were, you can see already early on, like I highlighted Rumble, no bad matchups, requires precision, Refteral firepower, and then what lanes miss playing it way too little, and we still see that miss, right? The fact that you don't have Rumble prepared at this tournament, I think that that's like terrible prep. Really terrible prep. As a Rumble is good, I highlighted this very early on, right? But what I wanted to bring up is AD, right? It's like what play-ins missed. This is something we will see later, but it's like Xayah's anti-tank and anti-dive, and you could see the T1 draft. They drafted really high-range champs with the Jinx, and they had the Orianna, and they really set up a game where Xayah was feeling like really the pain, you know. But the reason I brought this up is Senatam. My main concern about Senatam. So Senna really changes the structure of how you need to play, you know? It really changes the structure of how you need to play. And because you're putting your wards on the Senna, and then Tahm-Kench, your support needs to farm, which is a unique scenario that takes a lot of adjustment. And I think that this is where I see the teams that play Senna Tam, the ones that are less keen to play it, this is where they struggle, right? And today we saw fantastic Senna Tam spots, really good against these all-in lanes that everyone is playing at the World Championship with the Tom Kenches and the Rel. It requires finesse, you know. And in this particular game, Senna Tam against Rel and Kaiser showing, I think that this is a strong lane. And additionally, you know, Nico is prio mid, Senna Tam will have prio on bot, and then you pick Belveth on top of this. I think that this is a big problem, you know. I don't like Belveth here because I don't think that the top matchup is decisive enough. Belveth in isolation against Vi is really, really good, but you don't have the lanes to support this. You really don't have the lanes to support this. The last Belveth that we saw was, of course, C9 versus T1, and this was very similar. You see, you don't have prio mid, right? Well, it's like you do against Silas. That's not of the point. But you have Zeri, Rakan, Oriana. These are champions that don't want to interact. They don't want to play. They don't want to engage. They don't want to fight. Syndra should have prio versus Nico, though. That's untrue. That's untrue, Uncovering Real. Nico is insanely strong early, and Syndra is not so much anymore. And this is another example of Belveth being quite poor, you know. It's like Jax is an attention grabber, not an attention giver, you know. It's like he doesn't want to give up his tempo and prio to help other people, you know. And this is important. And looking at the rest of the draft, you're picking Belveth into Nico showing Senna Tam. While Belveth is good against Vi, you don't have the supporting cast for Belveth. But in this particular game, G2 had a good
versus
start.
Hansama.
They did manage to get a level 1 invade that accelerated Belveth. But I think that there was some crucial decisions from jungle. So this was G2. They started enemy Raptors. And I think that NRG really, really misplayed here. Like they committed so far to push out Yike, and keep in mind the wave is crashing here on the turret. It's like they are losing a lot of minions. Like FBI is losing minions, Ignar is not CSing. It's like this is a very, very big price that NRG's bot lane is paying to potentially contest this golem, and Yike got it all. So Contract is now behind, and then Yike is crossing to defend his topside camps. This is already, you know, all things considered, Belveth needs to be accelerated, and the key thing here for Rel needs to, for Belveth is that she needs to clear her camps while Vi has nothing to accomplish. Here Palafox trades flash with caps, which is perfectly fine, and Contracts pushes and chunks the wave so Palafox can support him on the Raptors. But here Contracts, he deleashes this Raptor camp. It's like right outside the edge of the situation. Contracts burns his flash, and then Yike is in a good spot. So here, in terms of how I would like Yike to convert, is that I want him to clear his camps and make sure that he defends his bottom side. Here I think this top side crab doesn't matter because Yike spends a lot of time. These crabs don't matter. The first crabs are completely useless. I think that Yike should just do Raptors and then make sure that, you know, Syndra wards bottom side in case Contracts takes this top crab and Yike takes Raptor red and crosses into bottom side, does Wolf Grompy bot crab into base, open on golems, and then retake Raptors. I think that he would be in such a good condition. But look how much time he wastes here. He wastes so much time pushing out Contracts and then doing the crab. And Contracts does a really, really nice move here that he crosses into the enemy bottom side. And this allows Contracts to recover. He recovers big time here. And then they'd say, yo, Rel, can you spot my Campy? And Rel gets chunked here. He loses a lot of HP, he loses his potions, and NRG does a good job of bringing Contracts back. And now Yike goes into the bottom side jungle, and he wants to look to contest. They find a little neat gank angle here because Palafox feels safe because of the plant being hit, but the plant doesn't spot Yike, so they're assuming right now that Yike is on red and on golems. And he goes for the gank. In a case here where this gank doesn't land, then Yike would be quite behind here, but he gets the kill. You know, this is an angle, and Palafox had no flash, so this is very beneficial, you know. This also like brings back Yike into the game ever so slightly. Contracts is almost pushed out here. Yike misses his abilities, and then the TP first from Nico secures by the Raptors. But keep in mind here, Yike hasn't cleared his non-buff camps. Quack the Duck wrote, yes, but Tam doesn't need items to fulfill his role in this team though, so what does it matter if he loses a bit of farm? Mate, he needs gold to buy items to be able to lane. Like obviously, contesting the golems there, I like you, Quack the Duck, because you're one of the OGs, so I'm gonna give you some time. Here they contested the golems, didn't achieve anything, and they lost CS and gold for it, right? It's like already spotting is enough, and the thing is, with how the jungle works, Yak was full HP, you know? He was full HP. And the fact that they lose that money, lose that XP, it's very relevant to souls, it's relevant to the Ignar base as well in terms of gold, you know, all of these things are crucial. So, this is another moment that I want to highlight. So Yike spent time on mid, got the gank, and then didn't get bot side crab, and now he is also forced, due to the lane matchup of G2 and the condition, Mickey losing all of that HP on the Gromp, Yike needs to spend time securing his lane, right? He's securing his lanes. And this is the number one thing that Yike on Belveth doesn't want to spend his time on. But here they are worried that Vi is gonna gank them because Ignar and FBI here have really good conditions. So Yike is spending more time, his first wolves haven't been cleared, his first golems haven't been cleared, and now Vi is already starting his second clear, right? Vi is already killing her second spawn of all of the camps. So Vi is actually ahead. Vi is ahead. And this is already game losing for Belveth. Belveth needs to snowball and the whole draft needs to be about her. Kai'Sa and Rel do need help. But that's the whole issue of the draft, right? And here you time out people for bad takes. What do you mean? So Vi is now in super conditions. The Hoax is doing super well too. You know, here, like Belveth, on top of that, right? He, instead of basing on bot and opening up on the map, he went all the way into top side and then re-cleared his camps. My man is traveling the whole desert like Moses, you know? It's meant to. Here in this moment, right? I think the exhaust is just brilliant from Ignar. Really good exhaust. It's like, here as well, I think in a world where Mickey doesn't hold Q, I think it would have been better, but they're just trying to punish Ignar for cancelling the base. But I think that if he Q'd right off the bat and didn't wait for the E shield of Ignar, so he doesn't get the Q off, I think would have been better. I think also Hansama could potentially flash that Q, you know? It would have been better. But this was very, very close, and NRG just played it better. The exhaust is good, and then the E timing is good, and then he flashes the Q. I think the exhaust was really good. Ignar played this really good, and this is a mess, right? They're trying to get that base, and Ignar and FBI goes for the cancel, and then on the exit, Belveth was spotted, you know? So already now, the game is in a very rough spot. Very rough spot. Palafox went Mercs, which makes him still continuously have prio. I think he can contest harder and trade better. And contracts, look at contracts XP. He's 5 to 5, and he's gonna secure the top grab. And the tempo of Belveth is very slow because he based so late. The Hoax, also really silent hero for them. It's like he had better lane conditions. He always was stronger than BB. The Hoax played really fucking good. And now contracts now after the red should reach 6, if I remember correctly. He's 1 XP away, kills the Raptors, and now Yike is also on 6, you know. And Vi got through the early game and she's super strong. And for Herald situations they should be stronger, for Drake situations they should be stronger. And what is the realistic point in time where G2 is going to outscale? It's not going to happen. Already now the game is fully favored for NRG, fully favored. Here Mickey has a window where he has a tempo advantage. He sacks the bot wave and Tam Senna are showing. This is another weakness of Tam Senna and why some people are allergic to picking Tam Senna, is that on the slow pushing waves you need to be together. So for example here, right? NRG can't look to play the bot dive. They need to play through bot in order to connect to mid. But in this particular case, it doesn't matter because contracts and Palafox are just so much stronger than their counterpart, and the Senna ult comes in, right? But I just want to highlight this, not that it matters in this moment, but I want to highlight this as to why sometimes people don't like playing Senna Tam. Is because opening up on mid, Senna doing it in isolation, while Tamkench is slow pushing a wave out, she's not going to be as impactful as the melee supports, right? So I just want to highlight this. It doesn't matter in this case, right? But I'm talking about this conversation because people are curious about why and when people are playing Senna and when not. Right? But this, of course, is completely. This of course is completely winning for NRG. They're winning 2v3. They get the flash in, and then the ult angle here on Caps. They find the CC chain. Caps can't flash that. He could have maybe flashed the first initial Nico ult, but they felt safe to go. And then the Senna ult, of course, in the combination of the Vi ult. The game is just done. The game is really, really done. Yeah, Ignar doesn't have flash, so he's not looking for more. Ignar knows the game is won, and he walks away, and they secure Rift Herald. And it's just like so many small mistakes, and also the weaker draft. NRG played way better, and also G2 has the weaker draft. Get a replay of that. Let's move forward a little bit. The Oaks also in beautiful condition. The Oaks is almost at the Iceborne Gauntlet. Yike is looking to squeeze. Even here, right? It's like they're looking for this TP play. Caps is very desperate. He hovered into top. Like Caps hovered into top to try to break the game. Now he TPs into bot to try to break the game. And now Caps gets exhausted right off the back end, and they get pushed out. They manage to kill Rel, and we have this late TP from Jax because of course he has Divine Sunder and needs to base for it, and NRG get out. Poof. Zeta are getting outplayed left and right. They get outplayed left and right. The Hoax now is pushing the turret. If I'm Yike here, bro, I am fucking all-inning this no matter what. It's like, if he walks a bit more, he can get the better angle on the Q. And I think that in this moment here, Yike should go for broke here. Like he gets the smite and he has the red and the basics, dodges the W, and it's like here he should just flash. I think that you should fucking go for this. Doesn't matter that he's 2 level down. He has Kraken. He needs to he needs to get the skill. He needs to get the skill or FF really. This is one of the best opportunities you're gonna get. He has red and Kraken. I think that you go for lethal. You should go for lethal. He has full information. There's no collapse. K'Sante can R and there will be a brawl, but if I'm in the state of mind here of Belveth, I'm thinking, bro, if I don't kill this K'Sante, I don't know what I will do in this game. It's just playing the odds, you know, playing the odds. There's a good stun here from Caps. There's no eat. They managed to snack on Senna. Not a good time for them to contest the wave. Like Vi is playing the neutral on bot. They don't need to contest. No reason for Senna to be in range here. This is also another detail, right? When you're on the mid wave, you always need to be S2. And there's another detail of Senna. It's like Senna cannot play the libero role of a support, right? I think Senna Tam is fucking strong, really, really OP, but I also want to take the time to highlight why some teams might like to play it less. It makes your gameplay quite static, but that static gameplay can be game winning in a lot of cases, you know? No cleanse versus Vi, Nico, and AD. Why would cleanse help you against Vi? Here as well, you know, since Vi didn't show a mid-wave, there's no reason for BB to face check this bush. He should neglect the neutral and accept, you know. But he's face checking into here and he gets CC chained into killed, and BB doesn't even react to put his E on, you know. Here as well, right? It's like Hansama gets killed here on top. Contracts finds the angle. I want to see, I don't see on the minimap here, but I want to see how Contracts got here, right? Because I'm looking at the vision situation, and how did Contracts get here without Hansama knowing? Because I don't know if there's a pink there on Pixel. I'm really curious if Hansama is just straight up running it down, or if Contracts is a mastermind, you know? Because here, Rel is on mid-wave, they have full vision in river, and Hansama gets snacked on. I think Contracts had a monster series, bro. Contracts had such a fucking good series. Like, his jungle performance was nutty, man. Nutty. Like, Contracts really smurfed out of his fucking mind, bro. Really, really good series. Honestly, it's like, everyone NRG really played well. Like, there's a fair play, man. Fair play. You could see as well the situation is like they push top, get the tier 1, kill Kaiser, and then the continuation is like the Hawks didn't get pressured at all. And you see here Yike is just fucking walking into the Neek ult, and he gets one tapped. And then the Proto Belt and NRG is collapsing, and then they're looking for caps too. You know, at this point we're just watching a montage of NRG slaughtering G2. There's no comeback mechanic, there's no play for them. NRG, it's like at this point G2 just need to go for broke and play some desperation. The Hawks with a hold on the W, Palafox playing fucking beautifully on the Nico too. Boom. What a murder, man. What a fucking murder. Really like that Nico first pick on blue side, you know. Really good on blue because you don't know where the draft direction is gonna head in, and guaranteeing yourself mid-prio is really solid, I think. Really, really big. NRG, what a fucking glow up, man. It's like, I think it's fair to say that G2 played bad today and they underperformed, you know. I think that's really, really fair. But that doesn't take away from NRG playing some of the fucking best games ever. Really, they played really, really good. And even here, you know, NRG, they're not fucking leaving anything up to chance. They get the turn and then the Palafox timing. This is like really fucking clean, bro. This is good fucking League of Legends. Really, really good League of Legends. This is good shit, man. Game 2, G2 goes on blue side. They get the Xayah first pick. Here, I was mumbling, you know, during the co-stream on the G2 Esports channel, if you didn't know. Here, Xayah is first picked, and the triangle that happens here is Jarvan, Rakan, Rumble, right? And here, G2, if they pick Rumble on 3, I think they are super winning. But instead, they give Rumble away. I don't know, it's like you pick the Poppy into Rakan Jarvan, and then you give the enemy champion that combines super well with Rakan Jarvan and also is really good into Poppy. I think at this point, I'm gonna be harsh, guys. If you are playing at this tournament and you are not capable of playing Rumble, shame on you. Shame on you. Like if you're playing at this tournament and you can't play Kalista, you can't play Rumble, you can't play Orianna, shame. Really, really shame on you. Rumble is no surprise. Rumble is not surprise, you know? It really isn't a surprise. They pick Azir, and then Rumble gets locked in, and K'Sante Jax gets banned as the answers into Rumble, and I really like the Ornn here. I think that probably Ornn is a more accurate ban than Jax. But that's okay, you know, Jax is good into Jarvan. I just think that Jax Poppy cannot really pressure Rumble. I think that if you want to play Jax into Rumble, you really, really need to have a jungler that has more pressure on the Rumble, but this is a case where he just doesn't, right? So they ban Jax and invite the Ornn. I think Ornn is really good here. I think blue side came out of this draft better. regardless of what I think about Rumble here picking it on 3, they came out of this draft better in my opinion. They banned Nico Aphelios, the Talia here on 4. I think that it's not as... It's like Talia is solid into Xayah, Poppy, Azir. There's not a lot of pressure on her. Poppy doesn't have pressure on Talia, so it's an okay pick. But here Nautilus and Ornn getting locked in definitely makes it harder for Talia in my opinion. They pick Sivir on 5, which is a good denial into Xayah, but I think Xayah packs more punch. And Sivir definitely, you know, is a solid pick because the enemy is also showing Nautilus. I think Sivir is one of the better ADs, if not the best into Nautilus, Xayah. But I think that here G2 came out of draft, and I think that they can play this for sure. They can definitely play this. But the game, of course, told a different story.
I mean, they can't target ban.
Really different story. Ban the Senna, Maokai, Orianna, we talked about it, and then the Viego here on 3. I think that they were surprised with the bans of the enemy. I think that this is where they wanted to. I think G2 just stole one of the bans of NRG, you know. But here is just, yeah, Rumble is just Biss here on 3, and they let it go. And then Talia here on 3. It's like we've seen some shit Talia games, but Talia into Xayah, Poppy, Azir is pretty solid. And a lot of the Talia games that we did see was against Jarvan, and I think Jarvan is really good against Talia. Or would you ban him, not Viego? It's like, for example, you could ban Poppy here on 3. If you ban Poppy here on 3, like, then the enemy is just lost on the map, you know? Really lost on the map. And then you create a triangle that is really fucking hard for the enemy to deal with, you know? Alright, let's take a look at the game. I think Jarvan is really strong. I think he's S tier jungler. Alright. So I need to remind myself a little bit about what happened this game. I think BB had a good lane condition on top, and I think the Hoax was getting really fucked in some of the trade-offs. There was a situation where, you know, Yak was sniffing out this gank on top with the Halloween-themed skin. The Hoax was playing very safe and defensive. Like here, the Hoax knows that this is a map trade. He's taking it easy. He's farming his first strike. Poppy's looking for an angle, but he doesn't find it. This is cold from the Hoax, you know? I think Broken Blade is not a good actor, you know? I think he had the better acting sequence is that he should just hit these millies and thin out the wave so he can't slow push and reach level 4, but he's like looking to Q the Hoax, and I think this is just very terrible acting, you know? He drops the ward eventually. And we continue. First big moment, I think, was when Drake was pulled. Drake was pulled, and BB bases and TP's back. And the Hoax walks back. There's TP advantage for the Hokla. And with this tempo here on mid, we have good conditions for caps. They're looking to just pull the Drake. They have slow push on bot too. This is a pretty standard play, right? They're going to look for a fight. But the Hoax saves the situation around the Drake by TP. He's looking to push top here in this moment, and Yike is hovering for one wave bot before pulling, and then you see here G2 are just doing the standard thing of connecting together on the pixel. So here I think the key thing, right, is that the Rumble TP comes in, so of course this makes it very awkward, and they force the Rumble TP out. I don't think Yike is wasting time at this Drake, because if it isn't for the Rumble TP, this is a good Drake start. But I think that they realized the TP a little bit too late. They just didn't spot this in the fog of war, right? If they moused over here, then they could spot it, and then they could just de-leash this Drake, and then it would be very winning, right? But BB TP top earlier. You don't get it, Githu. You don't get it. So just listen and spend less time writing, and you can learn something. So it's very uncommon for top laners to TP in this spot, right? If G2 de-aggro the Drake in this moment, then the Hoax has invested super fucking much, and NRG have the better position for the bot wave, but it's very winning for G2 if they drop it. But they don't know about this TP, and Palafox does a very nice wall here. You see, they don't see about this TP, they don't notice this TP, and now the TP comes in, and the Drake is still leashed, which is crucial. BB pushes out. And the Hawk saves the situation. But he makes a big investment, right? Or now gets a plating. If he had demolished, he would get 2 probably. And this is a big recovery point for Ornn, right? This is not like super losing, but we have to highlight here that Yike invested tempo, so he's behind in jungle for this, and Javan was clearing. And additionally, this Ocean Drake is probably the best early game Drake that you can get, right? My pleasure, Night Shadow. Tenki's the go. Javan hovers in the bot, has 6 and just bases and opens up on the map top side. He wants to play, of course, Herald with his Rumble. And this Ocean Drake is like the region you get is mental, you know? Is really mental. NRG did a really good job of stabilizing bot today. I think that you know, G2's bot lane has been their big strength in the games that they actually won and were contesting in, but that definitely wasn't the case today. Here there's no threat, FPI is crossing into mid, and they are hovering to, of course, make sure that they secure this Herald to match enemy bot, and then Talia opens on bottom side. Decent good macro here from NRG, but I think the issue is just that Contracts, of course, is ulted out of fog. He doesn't have vision. It's just that the ward that was placed before and the ping here on Pixel gives the Ike the opportunity to do this play, and this of course is a big swing, very big save here for G2. Because all the setup is in favor of, once again, NRG here, but it was just a poppy play, right? Nice poppy play. Ornn here, once again, he's hitting and enjoying himself. This was once again an investment from D-Hawks to secure this Herald. He's just a sacrificial lamb. And I think that once again, really props for the Hawks to lose out so much resources on top for the sake of his team and still being so fucking impactful. Really well done from the Hawks. Something that I saw in the North American playoffs is like the Hawks has one of the best rumbles. Like in terms of like rumble gameplay, super good. So I want to make sure that I differentiate that conversation. It's like really the context of rumble, right? It's like if I say someone is really insane rumble, one of the best rumble, it's only tied to rumble gameplay. It's not tied to overarching top lane gameplay, you know? Cookies is fine. It's like if you like think about what you can take in that tree, right? It's like if you don't think that you need dematerializer, which is perfectly fine, you know, Cookies just gives you additional HP. They have a week break, it's fine. They play tomorrow, bro. They play tomorrow. We continue. Here, I think that from a standpoint of what the map says, I think Mickey's attempt to queue into this bush is reasonable. They see Sivir showing and Xayah is gonna cross into this space. But it's very important in these moments that you recognize what champions you have, right? Azir is not a burst mage and Xayah is gonna be limping into the fight, and Poppy needs very specific angles to be able to play, right? And they're playing slow and they get CC, and then Palafox is like, look at the Ignar charm here. The Ignar charm here makes sure that there's no ult following up that Nautilus ult too, and maybe something could be played. So Mickey is investing so much HP and Xayah is not involved here yet, right? Mickey gets EQ'd, ult into flash out, and Sivir gets to push the bot wave for free, and practically G2 lost the 4v3 here because of just good mechanical play from NRG. I think something that NRG did so well, which was so impressive, was that they had the confidence to tether themselves to G2 at all times, which allowed them to punish mistakes. You know? Like, this gameplay is really fucking good. Really good. G2 did play bad, worse than usual, but NRG, really, fucking, really good performance. Really good performance. But still, you know, the game is still alive and well. It's cool. Like, own conditions are good, and it's not that deep, you know. This is perfectly fine. Jarvan getting the kill. It's like here as an example, right? It's like we pan over to D-Hoax. He's playing full scaling runes with the first strike, with the TP, and he has given so much to his team, but still he has these fucking fantastic lane conditions. I don't know what happened here topside. I don't know why BB's HP and mana is so fucked. Look at the item gap, okay? Based over the fact that Ornn got so much and 3 platings, I feel like this should convert itself to like some kind of a winning lane state. But the Hawks is just dominating still after giving up so much. NRG is the last hope of NA. Well, NRG seems to be the last hope of the West. But we have to see. We'll talk about tomorrow's matchups a little bit later. Here there's a moment in time where Ornn TP's top and they're looking for this Ornn ult. The issue with this Ornn ult is that it ties into the Drake, you know? It really ties into the Drake. They use the Ornn ult here and the Ornn ult misses. I think even if it hits, it doesn't really matter. It's just the fact here that Poppy ult is used, Ornn ult is used, and they get nothing. They only get Rumble Flash. And I don't like the fact that they're committing so hard. It's like, I understand why BB decides to TP top, because he can TP top, push out, and then go to Drake, and he'll be on time, right? But here they use tools for a crucial Drake that is spawning. And here Azir finishes Leandri's, and you know, Poppy has golden base, but G2 just decide to play full topside. So they don't want to play Drake, they go full play on topside, and they give up a dragon. I think this is terrible from G2. I don't know what the fuck they are doing. Really don't know what they are doing. And then they line up for this dive on top, and Caps has to commit all the way, but there's no wave. And now D-Hoax knows as well, he spots that the enemy on the mid ward that was placed, that the Azir crossed into topside, and D-Hoax just rumbles the wave. Like, look how cold D-Hoax has played this game. And this is like, you know, he's such a fucking silent hero, you know? Because he read everything that G2 wanted to do, he secured the Drake, he also, got fucked on the Herald, he was helping out and punching that Herald for the sake of his Jarvan. And then it's like, he rumbles the wave, he's the coldest motherfucker on the block, man. This is like, so fucking good. Like, weak side top lane play, you know? I don't like the term weak side, because this is the strong, this is as strong as you can be, you know? And then it's like, if you think about it from G2's perspective, they commit to topside, use Ornn ult, use Poppy ult to get the flash. And then they commit topside again, give up Drake, and at the same time G2's bot lane is threatened to be dove. Terrible macro play. Terrible. It's like, both things are true. G2 played bad and NRG are smurfing. This hook from Mickey, bro. My lord. My lord. This is a crazy hook. Because the cannon minion dies, makes this minion target the melee champ, and Mickey spots it. Very nice play here. Spell shield doesn't do much, of course. The E procs it, very hard to spell shield after you got hooked, and this is a delicious play. Very nice. I think that even though Mickey might not have had a good series, I tell you though that in the game, in the 2 game states that he played, there was very little for him to do. There was some moments where he queued very badly, but in the game states, I think that it was Very rough, you know? It's like, for example, the Rel game. It looks like he's running it down, but man, he has to be looking. This fight is also so fucking massive. It's like, I think here, you know, it's like if someone told me NRG is going to fucking outplay G2 mechanically, I'd be like, are you serious? They played this fucking beautifully, this sequence. So Caps saved this flash, was greedy with it, and then it's like, look at the timing here of contracts. He EQs, right? EQs, right? To cancel the Ornn ult and also EQ Azir at the same time. Here, very important for Caps to just flash some kind of damage. And then BB here is turning on the Ornn, I mean on the Rumble. He's playing forward. And the play continues. I hate it when Poppy players do this shit, when they fucking press W for move speed, when they are playing against these champs. You know, the Ike pressing W like this, like, you need to have awareness for what happens when you press your buttons. Meaning the impact, it's like playing pool, right? You hit the fucking white cue ball, boom, it bounces onto a different ball, you know, causation. The moment Poppy W's like this, Javan and Rakan, they can play the game. Their game becomes so easy. He goes here, he W to fucking Captain America the Hoax. And the Hoax is the original Captain America. And then here, look the freedom. Look the freedom that Javan has. Look the freedom that Rakan has. And Caps gets sold out. Caps needed to flash. But NRG just played this much better mechanically. Why even analyze Mickey sold the team? Why even watch? Why even watch? You can leave. For me, this is interesting, bro. I'm happy. NRG played good, you know? Sucks for G2, right? It fucking sucks. But bro, NRG played well. It wasn't some fucking dirty, ugly game, you know? It's like, NRG played well. We continue. Javan conditions, marvelous. This next fight, wow. This next fight, guys. NRG are gaming, bro. We have this Drake coming up. Caps TP's in. And G2. They take the position. Drake is spawning off of this wave. And they have the better position. I think the issue here for G2 is that they allow the enemy to re-enter. They let the enemy enter so fucking far and deep. So they get pushed in to an area where they are weaker. Ignar here with this ward is contesting. And I think that the main thing here for me with G2 is that they should play in the pixel spot. But they get pushed down. They get pushed down. It reminds me of Genji from last year. This is a common mistake that Genji from last year did. I think that G2 should stay here in this spot. But instead they get pushed down. They get pushed down and they play downwards. And I think that's partially because they are afraid of the Hawks from this angle. But I think if they stay in this spot and play the game, would have been better. I also want to highlight NRG's ward setup. They have a ward behind, 20 potential TP plays. They have a ward right here, and they have a ward right here. They spotted the movement from G2 going down, and especially here when Ornn shows on this ward, it's Freedom City. It's really Freedom City for NRG to position for this Drake fight. I think in this moment here, I think that you needed to contest from this spot and they needed to look to turn. And now NRG are allowed to close in. They're closing in and Palafox is in a beautiful wall position. Look at this wall that Palafox puts. Jesus. Jesus. This is the most un-American wall. Let's be honest. What a fucking wall. He's gonna get that government contract, man. And then, of course, the Rumble ult to pile on. It's like the Rumble ult. Imagine you drag it just like that. Because it's like, even though Ornn can break that, bro. Even if Ornn could break that, bro. It's too slow. It's too slow. Fucking Drake is even slowing them. Fucking even the Drake is enjoying this wall, man. The Rumble ult could be a lot better. But it hit the target. Asama ults. Once again, what are these two guys doing? It's like, well, what is Poppy doing here? Where is Poppy going? They run laps around the Poppy, posturing forward, but the position of everyone is just delicious here, man. It's like Sivir is hitting for free. They're just letting Sivir hit for free, and Azir cannot carry such a fight. And look at Palafox's position, bro. Palafox is just fucking banging over the wall, man. He's just banging here over the wall. He gets the combo here. He's hitting, he's hitting. Sivir is hitting the front line for free. That is posturing forward. They're not disengaging on Hansama. Really good stopwatch here from the Hawks on the stun. And then the flash out. And then here comes another combo, getting caps. It's just Palafox and Rumble playing out of Fog of War. No vision ward left for Mickey. Bro, it's like Energy outclassed them, bro. They got completely outclassed. Really outclassed. It was this series was not close. It was really not close. It's like NRG just straight up outplayed them in every situation. And I think what was so cool about how NRG played, right, is the fact that they tethered to G2 so fucking well. And they won situations with less men, and they won situations that they had weaker positions because they tethered super well to the opposition. Yeah, the crazy thing for G2 now, right, is that the setup of the tournament. What do you mean by tethered? So basically, there's this concept, right? If you're laning, right? If you're laning. So for example, if you're laning as a support, right? If you're laning as a support, you need to tether your movement to your AD carry and to the opposition. Because you want to put the pressure on enemy AD, right? You know, when your support player, for all AD players out there, when your support is standing, when your support is completely selling you, is standing like that. You know those supports that just stand like this because they're afraid of getting Nautilus hooked. They're not creating any kind of crossfire where you can hit together with your AD, and you are not creating a situation where you tether yourself to the enemy to look for opportunities, right? And this idea extends to the entire game. If you remember On at MSI, he had the biggest balls on the planet, and the way he would play is that he tethered himself to the opposition always. If the enemy wasn't contesting mid, he would walk with his big pendulum balls, and he would make sure that he spots the information and looks at them, right? On today was not that great, but this is the idea of tethering. It's like he is using the capability of his champ to gain as much information as possible, because if you tether forward, you are forcing a reaction from the enemy. If they're not forcing on you and you get information, it means that your team can play the game, right? And it's the same. If your enemy support is standing here, then you tether yourself forward, right? You take space. And what NRG do so well is that in those moments, right, they were always, this was the spot that G2 were trying to always contest on, but they were always tethering themselves like this. When people showed here or people showed here, they didn't waste any time to enter into the areas because they were always ready. They were tethering to the enemy. You understand? So that's the idea of tethering, you know? You move with the information that the enemy gives you. And it's an extension of the idea what happens in lane. Another example that is maybe easier to see is like you have situations in top where, let's say, enemy top laner leashed, and you're playing Riven, and you fuck him in the bush. And then the enemy top laner stands here, and you stand here, because you're tethering to the enemy. A lot of players, like most bad players, they tether themselves to the minions. They tether themselves to the minions. It's like if you're playing Jinx, you high range, you max range auto attack to the minion, rather than posturing forward when the enemy gives you space. Because this is what is going to give you opportunities to poke and to harass, right? It is similar to football, right? It's like if you're defending on the offside line, right? In the middle, at the center of the pitch, it's like you are going to be defending in a way where you're very close to the enemy. Isn't this matchup specific? Of course it's matchup specific. It's champion specific. That's why I mentioned very key examples. I said Riven. I said Jinx range. I said Rakan, right? When Rakan is swinging his big balls. Like when On played Rakan against T1, he knows that he has fucking 3 dashes. So he's going to play on them, you know? But okay. What about top laners like Adam, where he leaves top lane to impact other areas? That has nothing to do with what we're talking about, mate. That's why there's a lot of supports. There's a lot of supports that straight up int. Most, besides maybe like the light and missing, right? They are heavy outliers because they're insanely precise. But you have the On and the Mickey X and these guys, it's like they are trying to really like squeeze, you know? Hilly is like the ultimate squeezer. It's like, what the fuck is he doing there? You ask yourself. He's trying to do this, but just goes way too far. You get me? All right. Here once again, G2. I think the same thing. They keep getting funneled into the same spot. They are letting the enemy cross through here every damn time. They're walking on the crab. They don't pull out the Drake. They don't play on Pixel. They don't play on Pixel. Instead, they are funneling themselves into this part of the river and they have no space to play on. No space. And then here, Caps is trying something desperate. He's looking to find a flank, but it's the same position as before. If they let the enemy cross into Pixel, they are going to just lose. Once again, beautiful wall from Palafox. Good engage from Contracts. You know, here Caps is not playing a build with Hourglass, or he has Leander in Ash's Tooth. He cannot trade his life. It's just... he can't trade his life. It just doesn't work. And he trades his life with the Sivir with no flash, but after Contracts gets the Smite, which is very disappointing here, the Smite, you know, it's like... everyone forgets about the Drake. It's like, this is why we're here, but the game just concludes. The game just concludes here. It's like, this is a way too decisive soul. They got 2 Hextech souls, actually. That's good for my pick'em. At least something is going good for my pick'em. Actually, not even. There's too many Cloud Drakes. Yikes, smote a player. Really? Is he just smiting Sivir to guarantee the spell shield? No, he's just fucking smiting her to last it. Huh. Alright. Sucks. Alright. A rough series for G2, but I really want to take the time here. We don't have to view everything so black and white. It's like G2 underperformed, right? They underperformed 100%. They had poor prep, walking into that Senna Tom after NRG showed it, and also G2 played a lot worse. But NRG Energy played fucking good, man. Energy played really, really good. Both things can be true. I think Energy showed the best Western performance at this tournament so far. And I say this, right? I say this. And I told everyone to be very careful about the G2 hype, right? I predicted G2 to win. I predicted G2 to win. But I also told us that a lot of people were coping and saying, yo, G2 can make a run. They can beat a lot of teams in quarterfinals. A lot of people were saying, yo, they're going to beat KT. And I was saying, yo, I think a best of 3 against Weibo, I think they lose that. I think a best of 3 against Damwon could be close. Because these BO1s that they won, they were very dirty. Very dirty. And I was saying, Yike, Hansama, Bibi. I said these guys have not been performing. I didn't predict every scenario. I clearly said that I predicted G2 to beat NRG. I'm just talking about G2's trajectory, right? It wasn't hot and heavy. It really wasn't hot and heavy, man. That's what I want to highlight, you know? There's a lot of people in my chats who were very, very angry at me when I said that BB, Ike, and Hansama are not performing that well, you know? But I want to underline this, that I thought G2 was going to beat NRG with ease today. And NRG stomped them. They really, really stomped them. We're going to talk about tomorrow's matchups after we review T1 and Bilibili. Let's have a look. T1 versus Bilibili. I think T1 really impressed me today. Really, really impressed me today. I think that, the two players I hyped up always when it comes to T1 and I put in my top 25 list is Zeus and also, of course, Gumayushi. And I think Gumayushi is the player that showed today that he can be the guy who finds the edge when it comes to draft. So he played as Senna. He has the Caitlyn in the pocket. He has the Draven in the pocket. He basically has a champion pool designed to fuck all these Xayah players. I had high hopes for El coming into this one, but I really liked T1's preparation today. Really, really nice preparation today. I think the T1 made really good adjustments in their gameplay patterns. Pronounce his name Zeus, please. Sounds better. No, not really. I guess I'm gonna take advice from a guy that spells Gunther with fucking 15 U's. You think that sounds better than Gunther? Okay, so T1 banned Maokai, Nico, Jax. It's like Nico is really good for, of course, Yagao. It seems after that G2 game, sorry, not G2 game, but the Fnatic game that Yagao played, seems like teams are very okay with inviting Yagao to play the mages, right? So Maokai gets banned, Nico gets banned, and then Jax. Jax, of course, against Bin. It's something that makes a lot of sense. Bilibili stick with the Rumble ban, Xayah ban, and Renata Glask. Renata Glask, of course, is something, someone asked me about why this is banned. Thing is, Renata Glask is something that can be used as a counter to a lot of the melee supports that are being played, but it's also the most blind pickable, strongest combination with Kalista Renata, right? The reason I talk about this is because it's not a specific ban against T1 only. We've seen this ban show up in other places too. Let me try to find some games. Here Renata is banned against LNG, for example. Renata is banned here too. Here Renata was played 5 into Alistar, right? It's like Keria is such a strong mechanical player. I've always said this. I think that in terms of how Keria connects with his team, I think that's where it's lacking. I think when it comes to the range supports, he does well because his job is to be on the mid-wave and play mechanically well. I think those are the perfect scenarios for Keria. When he plays a support that macro-wise needs to be with AD on the mid-wave always, I think this is where Keria is like fucking S tier as a player. So like the Lucian Nami meta, the Lulu meta, the Renata meta, the Tahm Kench, I think this is where he's really fucking good, right? I like him a lot less when it comes to the melee supports that need to play very dynamic games. While mechanically he plays those champions good, I don't think that he has game vision like some of the other supports like Delight. Right? Oli, it took Gunther, it took you so long to think of this answer? Come on, man. You can do better than that, man. Take 5 minutes and try again, man. Okay, so let's look at the draft. Jarvan first pick, right? Maokai is out. Jarvan first pick. Jarvan first pick when Orianna is in the mix. Fair, right? It's like Jarvan first pick either secures your Jarvan into Orianna, or it gives you an opportunity to get Orianna Jarvan if the enemy doesn't want to play Orianna into Jarvan, right? So, Jarvan gets picked, Orianna Renekton gets locked in. Renekton is fine here because Jax is out and Rumble is out, but Gnar gets locked in and Azir. So it's like already here, Gnar and Renekton, the way this matchup works is that Renekton needs to build some kind of advantage from level 1 to 7. After that, Gnar is going to begin to shift the matchup, and it's a big question of can Gnar find Ninja Tabi on first base, and how can it continue? I think Honor has been better. Honor has been a lot better at Worlds than he has been at, of course, in the regular split, you know? So Renekton is locked in, and then Rel on 3. I thought here they're going to pick Sejuani, right? I think that here Sejuani on 3, I think that would have been really, really good, you know? Alistar gets banned, Caitlyn gets banned, Alistar to set up the Rel, understandable, you know, to some degree, and then Rakan, Sejuani. So they banned Sejuani away. I think Sejuani here would have been really good, but let's continue. They pick Kai'Sa on 4. I thought that in this moment that they're going to pick something that is maybe stronger for lane, but I think that in terms of what the tournament has shown, it's a very natural thing to pick Kai'Sa here. And then T1 slam the Senna Tam. And this is, you know, in this particular spot, you know, these are the spots that I wish that more teams would invite, because into a Kai'Sa dry like that, you can pick so many things. It's like I mentioned it here. Kai'Sa, right? If Kai'Sa is blinded, you can pick so many combos. And then you think about it, right? And when it comes to blue side, you can pick full combos on 2-3, or you can pick them on 4-5, so they can get split up, right? So here they pick Senna Tam, which is of course fantastic into an engage support. You have the Azir and the Gnar to compensate for the lack of DPS that you have. Senna Tam is a very durable lane, good against all-in supports. Here they go Nidalee on 5. A lot of people are clowning on the Nidalee, but I think that it's important to look at, you know, I think that it's important to highlight what happened in the early game, you know? Like here, Kog'Maw Braum can be picked. Senna Tam is also a very strong lock-in. You know, you can go many directions. You can go Aphelios Thresh. You can definitely go in many directions here against the Kai'Sa. And this is what I was hoping that G2 would invite. This is G2's comfort zone. If we think about G2's bot lane, where were they the strongest the whole year? Is that when they were never playing Kai'Sa, they invited the Kai'Sa and they smacked the fucking Kai'Sa. Right? But they didn't. Isn't Wukong turbo here? I think Wukong doesn't match well with Renekton. It's like Renekton and Wukong, they want to play a very different game. They really they want to play a very different game. And Renekton, if you are picking Renekton like this, you better pick a pairing that is going to allow him to snowball. It's very important. Right? So it's like you want to pair Renekton with Nidalee, and you want to pair Renekton with Sejuani, because otherwise Gnar is just going to beat out Renekton, and then it's like you just have dead meat there, you know? So I don't think it's good to pick Wu. It's like in such a game, I think looking for Nidalee is perfectly fine. I think this Nidalee spot is not bad. I would have preferred Sejuani here, and then I think you have more options into 4-5, but that's just it, you know? The reason they pick Renekton here is because Rumble and Jax are out. I don't know, there's so many weird conversations happening in the chat. I don't know what's happening. we continue. So, in this game, red side needs to snowball. Plain and simple. They need to snowball. Even though they have the Orianna pick, they need to snowball. They have the weak, which is difficult because they have the weaker matchup bot on paper, but they have the stronger early game jungler in the Nidalee, right? We continue. Here, I thought Billy, I understand why they want to do this. And I think it's important that they get the game rolling early. But I think that in this particular spot here, I think that I thought this is quite dangerous. I thought that Senna, Tam are going to be able to poke you. And then it's like, even though Javan is not the strongest level 1, it's like his flag does damage, gives attack speed, and also it gives vision, right? And I think this is like really, really big, you know? Here the W does nothing. It's just on straight up just W's the wall. And this is not good, right? And here already, I think that the situation is like fucking dire, you know? The fact that you find yourself in this spot, I'm not so sure, man. I think it's time to cleanse the chat a little bit, you know? It's like people are we have people really they are really in the wrong place, man. They are fighting demons that are not here. They are really fighting demons that are not here. Some timeouts. Okay. So here already, it's like the red buff is doing so much damage. The poking of the Tamkench Qs and the Senna punching is a really big deal in terms of the HP department. They don't have the lethal on owner here. Electrocute has already been popped. Azir has the first move into the situation. Elk dies. Only plus prize here is that Shun gets the red, but bloody hell, he has no flash. He had to flash out, of course. And Korea is looking to get that booty. Shun could have maybe ran if he just jumped in straight and then the second Q lands. And then On here too, I think that On should have died here if Korea just saves Q. Actually, maybe I'm confusing it with something else. I think I may be twisting it with a different situation. I think it's the next one. I think it's the next one here when Kaiser comes. I don't like the invade. It's like, don't like the invade, but I really don't like the invade. I think it's fucking hard. I think it's really hard. This is the one. I think here, if Korea saves Q, I think he's just dead. Like here. So basically, he saves Q, autos, Qs. I think would have been better. He gets the stun off, Gumayush can hit. I think Elk dies here. And then it's just lights out. Right? Because they are overlapping the CC of the slows, you know? But I'm gonna be honest. This game is fucking lights out, bro. Like, red side need to snowball. They have no sums on both. Nidalee got the red, and Javan is a little bit slowed down on tempo. But this is completely fucked. Like, the game is in the dumpster. And this is round 1 head kick, for sure. That is round 1 head kick. But for sure, Billy, they tried. They tried to gank bot, and Faker lost HP trying to save the situation. So this is his situation in mid. He's bleeding a bit, which is fine. Look at that first base for Senna. That is a crazy first base for Senna, bro. She's drifting on the map, bro. It's like, imagine the first car that you buy is a fucking Ferrari, bro. And you better not crash it, because, bro, you are in an expensive position. No magic mantle buy for Azir, perfectly fine into Nidalee Orianna showing. And Nidalee is crossing into bottom side and trying to crash the wave. This is a bit psycho here from T1. I think that if T1 just looked to thin out the wave, I think would have been better. I think this was really, really psycho here. Here, oof. This is that spear. They should just look to kill Keria. I think the idea here, I think they think that Gumayushi has no flash. So he's aiming for Gumayushi. But Gumayushi is holding his thumbs long. And I think that even if the spear hits, I think that probably Gumayushi can outplay that. But they kill Tam anyway, so this entire time we see that Elk is just basic attacking him with the little tempo. And Keria dies. So, I think T1, the fact that they W'd forward, I think it's not great. There's a moment where you want to thin out the wave and make the crash as hard as possible. I think that here they just pull the wave, invite the enemy to come in and then play on the counter instead of looking to push it forward. I think it would have been better. Worlds actually starts 4 hours earlier tomorrow. 4 hours earlier, not 3 hours earlier. Because it goes from 9 to 5 AM, no? So we're starting 5 AM. Rip bozos. Billy tried to squeeze, but look how broken these shoes are, bro. Like, look at this. Gumayushi is running with 390 move speed. Look at him go. They are in shock, by the way. Like, that is rough. That is really, really rough. Wait, time is also getting put back 1 hour tonight because of winter time? No way. It's winter time? No. Wait, we have 1 more hour to sleep or less? More. Okay, more. It's more. Okay, you fucking scared me, bro. So it's theoretically 6 AM. So it's theoretically 6 AM. Okay. Saved. Nice. Cool. Bro, how do I set my alarm? How do I set my alarm? If I go to sleep before the time changes, do I have to set the alarm at 5? Or do I set the alarm at 6? Okay. Alright. Because it changes at 2 or 3 AM. Alright, so we talked about this moment. We go forward. Still very fucking hard game here for Billy. They are very pressured to get something done. Top situation as well. We didn't see a lot in top, but Zeus is in brilliant conditions. Really, really good conditions. And Zeus is doing a fantastic job to be even. Tabi versus Tabi. This is really, really good for Zeus. Like, Zeus is winning top pretty fucking hard here. Look at that spacing as well. He's getting the tremor damage of the E here against Bin. Look at that tremor damage. He's playing so fucking well here, Zeus. Here we go again. Keria is forced to flash that W. He's posturing forward. Doesn't really wait for Owner. I think this is the moment where you have to wait for Owner. I think Owner here as well. I would say that probably I would look to burn the flash of On, but he doesn't go for it. We continue. It's like, even though Kai'Sa and Orianna scale good in such a game, I think the issue is still the Renekton and Nidalee value is so damn low here. They're very weak for this game. Tamkench crossing in first, no ult here for Gumayushi. Owner already leashed his Herald with the bot tempo that he had. And the top situation is exactly, Zeus has timed it well with Mega, so he can contest here. Shun is, I think Shun probably could have stepped into River a little bit earlier because he knows the timing of enemy bot. So Owner is getting a lot of free damage here on Herald. Owner plays this well, the situation, and Faker takes the aggressive path, and I think that he's a bit of a psycho here, but he dodges everything. He dodges Nidalee, Orianna Q twice and Nidalee Spear, and Faker gets the aggressive path and they secure Herald. Kaiser's also and Senna, they're also opening all on mid, so there's no counterplay for Billy. And it was, of course, very, very poor here. Here the synergy is a little bit off here on Korea and his W, and you can see Faker is committing. Here it's a little bit of a visual bug, but you can see that Faker actually got stunned off of the Orianna ult. It's like here. Being good at Nidalee doesn't make Nidalee good. I think this, I am a Nidalee hater. I'm gonna make that clear. And I think this is one of the better Nidalee games that you can play. But I just want to make that clear. It's like, if there was ever a game to pick Nidalee, this could have been one of them. But he had the worst fucking possible start. And I hate fucking Nidalee. I think it's garbage. But this is like probably the best Nidalee game that you can play. And if your conclusion is that Nidalee sucks after this game, I have a bridge to sell you, mate. A bridge in Brooklyn. So here the Orianna ult lands on Faker, and Korea is holding Eat. Very good patience here, no flash on after that fight. We get the Eat on Javan, Korea mechanically plays this fucking good, Owner 2, and then the snipe. Really fucking big, you know. Now the game is like really lights out. And then on top of this, you know, Vin gets solo boloed. He flashes. He gets knocked out, and then Zeus with the final auto. Beautiful. Like, Zeus played this lane so fucking well. And I say that only based over the fact they got Tabi base versus Tabi base. And after that, the lane is just really hard for Bin. Right into the bone plating. Bin really fucked up here. He empowered the E, dashed in, has no ult. This is just looks like tilt. We continue. Gets a kill, Zeus, and the game is just done, guys. The game is really KO. Something that T1 could have done better to convert the position. I think that often what makes me nervous about T1 in terms of their macro is, it's like they rush things. And they get away with rushing things in a lot of cases because of how OP and strong they are. But this is something that can bite them in the ass maybe in the future, you know? They're doing so many things at once, and that sometimes can be dangerous. So if you look at T1's position, how they want to progress the game with Nash starts is that... let me tell you guys something about how the map is structured, you know? If enemy has no turret here and they have no turret here, the space that you want to contest to pressure Nash, right, is this area. These areas are dead zones, and too many times people try to contest this space. These are the most important spots to contest. Make the enemy afraid to walk past the neutral point, and you defend this spot. If the enemy phase checks into you here, if phase checks into you here, this is where you have the advantage. But it goes both ways. It goes both ways. If you try to cross into this space, you're trying to cross into this space without information, this is where good defensive teams will look to kill you. Okay? This spot here, on the side where the red buff is the most important spot. Okay? Most important spot. Basically, you push the enemy in, The reason it works like this is because the enemy AD that is catching the wave defensively still has better access than your AD. Right? We continue. So now we apply this idea to what T1 did in this game, right? T1 just setting up for the Drake, get the second Drake. Really good posturing here. They have full information on everyone from Bilibili. They don't let Bilibili cross this point, this choke point. They're going to look to poke anyone, and Bilibili. It's like, look at the arc that T1 have created. Really nice. Why is this arc so important? Because it creates a crossfire. So let's zoom in here into the Drake area, okay? Enemy team is walking through here. They spotted 5 members here, right? T1 are positioned like this. If Rel tries to create a breakthrough, he can only go on one person at a time. And what this arc creates, it creates a crossfire into the same spot. Every T1 member can hit the same spot, and the breakthrough that Rel is going to do in order to get into the position will only hit one. Because look at how T1 position. If the enemy tries to engage, only one person will get hit. And that's what makes Tam super strong. Many teams, they fumble, and they're all standing in the same spot because they're tethering to the enemy, but they're not tethering to each other. T1 now with the Herald spawn on top, just secure the turret, make Bilibili make the defensive maneuver. And this is where I get like, this is unnecessary here for Korea, but he's so fed, so he gets away with it, you know. Like here, maybe he could lose some HP and disrupt the play. It's not that big of a deal. Zeus is pushing bot, you know, any space they can create. Like, they should pressure top hard enough for for Zeus to of course have the freedom. You know, Zeus is so fucking strong, 15 to 13. He chips away at the turret, has Black Cleaver, you know, he has a dream spot. It's like, Bin is so fucked, he's buying dead man's plates, you know. Yeah, Zeus should just base. His team is basing, so he needs to base in unison. He cannot apply pressure when his team is not applying pressure. The way you mask the Zeus push on bot is by hitting Nash, right? Or pressuring Nash. So they kill Zeus for free. Now, the main thing, right, is that, for example, in this spot, T1 is clearing the wave really, really deep. Imagine in this spot, right, they have controlled the area that I highlighted before. Why are they contesting in this area? T1 with Keria and Gumayushi cannot fight. Cannot do anything in this spot. They can't. They can't. Why did T1 macro improved? I don't think it improved slightly. We see that in the second game in some areas. But here, this is not good. Right? Here, T1 could even go so far to threaten Nash. They could hit Nash. They can take it easy and just hit Nash, right? They have the correct space, and Orianna and the rest of the squad will have a hard time squeezing. But the issue is, it's like you need to use sweep. You need to put a pink here, right? As I highlighted in the thing, pink needs to be here, right? And then you have free access with Javan and Nazir. You can take the wave deep because you have information and vision in this area, and there's no threat on your Senna and Tam. And then you can collapse. And then you force the enemy to cross into you. But in this particular area, right? You have a difference of situation. Bilibili have the easier access into this fight because if you look at Senna and Tam, they don't have any access. That's why this area is deadly, very deadly. Even though you don't have mid prio, mid lane, whoever contests the mid wave here and catches the mid wave has first access into the fight here. And this shit could get dangerous. Imagine Faker gets hit by a CC here, something goes wrong, it's rough. Could be dangerous, right? We continue. Same thing as before. It's like T1 are in a position where they can't get engaged on in the breakthrough, and they get the Drake. No way for Bilibili to contest it, they're simply too weak. Now it's the same thing, right? It's like this pink is just saving the game. it has nothing to do with securing Nash, Steph Curry. It's about securing the right space and putting pressure on the enemy. Because they are standing in the wrong area, which gives breathing room to Bilibili. It's not about killing Nash, it's about threatening Nash to give space to Zeus and make the enemy make mistakes, not the other way around. Okay? They look to gank bot, right? So they're just pushing. But even in this spot, right? It's like, Azir is on the top wave. They pushed in the mid wave. Imagine there's no pink here at the Nash. They can then pivot into there, be in fog of war. The enemy has no blue trinket. The enemy is forced to face check into you. And they can look to pressure. But instead here, the Zeus. Zeus pushes out, of course, the Kaiser that ulted him. Really nice ult here. El gets pushed out. They don't get the kill. There's nothing. Imagine in this spot, there's no pink here in the Nash pit. And Azir pushed the wave deep. Tahm Kench and Senna push the wave deep, and then they cross and they're just in fog of war in this area. The enemy has to face check, the enemy has to die. But instead they do this thing where they hit the mid turret as 3, Azir is on top wave. Orianna is sacking the top wave to then collapse on this situation. And this situation, even though it works out fine for T1, they outmaneuver this, there's no point giving teams opportunities like this. And this is what I'm worried about T1. It's like T1, I've always said, mechanically, fucking insane team. Really fucking insane team. Macro-wise, sometimes dangerous. Yeah? It's like they get out of here, right? It's like Owner saves the whole situation. It's like fucking plays is really fucking good. Owner plays is insane. He saves the whole situation here. Korea is a bit of a psychopath, but they get out and they outmaneuver this space. Really nice. I don't know about this fake TP. This fake TP is a bit wild, but yeah. Zeus gets a push for free and T1 are kiting out. Owner. Really, really insane. Alright, so Bilibili first pick Xayah, and I really fucking like this draft from T1. Because for the first time we saw the capability of countering a champion like Xayah. You have the Jinx with high range, then you have the Tahm Kench to support the Jinx into the Vi lock-in. And you have Orianna, Jarvan, Gragas. These are champions that are pretty fucking strong into Xayah. It's a very hard Xayah draft to play. It's a very, very fucking hard draft to play for Xayah. So the ban Renata, Glask, Azir, Rumble, Maokai, Rakan, and Nico. Right? So the trader here is, with Azir out and Nico out, is Orianna for Xayah. And Xayah gets locked in, Orianna, Jarvan is a follow-up, Syndra gets locked in, and then Jax. Jax is a strong blind, right, for Bin. He's a heavy outlier, right? Heavy outlier, Bin, as a player. But Syndra, you know, it's like fine into Orianna, bad into Jarvan, I'd say, right? But with Nico out and Azir out, the options are quite limited. So that's why this trade becomes favorable for Orianna, because the answer is Syndra, right? And they get the Jarvan off of it. So Jarvan gets 2 targets, Syndra and Xayah. And in some cases, you know, some players would like pick Ahri here together with Vi. That could be an angle, right? You go Ahri, Vi here and pick it into Orianna. That's something that could be played. But instead they go for Syndra. You can also maybe go for like Silas Vi, that's also an angle, but they pick Jax. They don't want to be in a position where they pick Ahri and the good junglers get banned out, you know? But that's, you know, maybe if we have that in mind, maybe there's an angle for them to just pick Xayah, support, and Jax, and then drop mid jungle for 5 and try to find some combos, you know? Gragas gets picked into Jax as the answer, Blitzcrank gets banned, Sejuani gets banned, and Blitzcrank, you know, is a champion that is good into all of the long-range champions that, of course, Gumayusi wants to play. Caitlyn, Kai'Sa, Alistar gets locked in, and then Vi. And already we knew that Tahm Kench comes in. It's like the Jinx already wants Tahm Kench on her side, and they even made the Tahm Kench better by the Alistar Vi lock-in. And in this particular game, we did have a massive advantage for Bin. Alright, let's take a look at this gameplay. So bot lane matchup was going really well for Gumayusi and Korea. They were really smurfing it. Here, I really like how Shun, he avoided the vision. They saw that the ward was placed here on the top side, and Shun goes over the wall. He skips the crab and goes over the wall. This gives him this angle here on Faker. Faker feels really safe because he has the vision on this side, and then Jarvan is covering the other side of the map. Faker feels really safe, understandably so. But Shun finds the angle here for the gank, and the stun is timed well. Really well, and then the auto from Yagao flies, and they get to push in. Here, Owner could have lost flash. Like here, he like continues to fight. I think Owner is crazy here. He's trying to buy time so they don't push in the way for free, so Yagao gets the pace. But the Owner here, if there's a stun that lands here, bro, like shit could get very dangerous. Yeah. Before Vi was picked, Kato said he wanted to pick Thresh for Korea by letting Alistair open. Well, like, yeah, they have that option on 5. Like, Thresh could definitely be picked. I thought in the game 1 that they're gonna look for Aphelios Thresh. I thought they're gonna pick Aphelios Thresh there in the game 1, but they went for Senatam. They get this start, no flash on mid, and they get the kill, and they also get the push in. And this was beautiful. Like, here it looks like Zeus is inting, right? But the thing is, Zeus is playing for the best possible outcome. He's looking to predict the flash, and then he spaces better, and then murders, you know? He just spaces the E, he baits because Zeus knows he's in lethal range. He's trying to look for the outplay by Eing, you know? And then he looks very stupid, but there's layers to this game. And then Faker jukes downwards on the Yagao stun, and he gets the kill. Faker cannot contest neutral waves, and Yagao is now 2-0. This looked like a fucking beautiful stuff for Bilibili. They get the Drake too. It's a 6-timer on mid. Everything is looking like Bilibili is gonna win this one. But Zeus trades his ultimate, does a little woody fruity, but the Mercs keeps Ben healthy. He has a biscuit, and then he goes on E cooldown here. Doesn't even wait for E cooldown. Didn't even need it. He just fucking smokes Zeus down and he doesn't flash. Yeah, this is Ben. This is Ben, baby. The next Drake fight that happens is so crucial because it really puts Jinx ahead of the curve of everyone else. And in this situation, to have that single carry, El gets caught here, doesn't need to go right. He uses his ultimate, trades it with the Owner. Here, the next Drake is so crucial. You have the Herald for Vi because top gap, naturally, right? He places on mid. They're just trying to chip away because for Tamkens, Jinx, Orianna, mid turret is very important. They continue in the bottom side, and now the Drake setup. So here T1 are posturing towards Pixel, right? And here it's very important that you hit on the same target. You need to make sure that you fight in a way where you're hitting in a way where Zaya can also hit. Here Yagao finishes Liandry, so he has a very big power spike, but the issue is On really runs it down. On really griefs it. Because here, all On needs to do is either not combo or combo Owner. If he combos Owner off of the ult, off of the Q here, because shown Qs, right? He Qs, gets the Q here, gets the CC, they can ult that, right? They can ult that into combo, and they can maybe look to find lethal here. But instead, On, he Q flashes nothing, and Jarvan gets all of his spells off, and Shun dies. Yagao as well is playing with his On, you know, and he's just trying to get something done. But we see the Jinxie, the Tamit, and Jinx picks up kills here. And this is so important because Jinx just got 2 kills, and that's fantastic, you know. They could have just one-shot here the Jarvan and play on that and play the fight by ear, but On really runs it down. And now T1's bot lane, you know, they have the better champs, they have the better conditions. Playing Xayah Alistar is really not fucking comfortable in this game. Really not comfortable. This was like a series that really highlighted how good T1's bot lane can be when they're playing pairings where Keria needs to stick around with Gumayushi, they can leverage their lane power, and then mechanically it's like they are fucking brilliant. Really, really good. I think that the crown was very smart. I will tell you why. Something that we mentioned before, right? Something that we mentioned before is we talked about the formation, right? I drew it here. The formation. In this case, Jinx is so fucking strong that she needs to be in the premium position, right? This is the premium spot, the most center spot. That means that Faker, as Orianna, needs to be the one putting pressure from the sides. And against Vi, Vi is really good again at collapsing at these champions that are on the side, right? That's what made Crown such a good purchase, because it allows him to play in those spots and areas. It really, really does. That's why Crown was so good, in my mind. At first, I was surprised, and I didn't like it at first, but now after digesting it, I really like it, you know? Really, really like it. So here, you know, Bin was doing a good job making sure that he trades farm for any type of objective that T1 wants to take. Really, really good. They TP on top, and this time, you know, this is an improvement that you clearly see. It's like here, owner is actually marking for his boy. He's marking for his boy, and now the TP comes in, the EQ makes Bin dodge down, and then he's out, and then they save Faker, who just push side very deep. This is very nice, you know? This is an active improvement from T1. Here, Jax proxied the wave so he can walk down to defend the tier 2. And the Herald dies. Yeah, On. I think On was playing so fast and loose this game, and he was just giving freebies all the time. This is very unnecessary, just straight up a mistake. And now here as well, Elk is getting pushed out. Vi showed on top, I believe, and they're just looking to ult Elk. Elk is holding his flash, holding his spells because he's trying to bait for a potential fight, and then the flag gives the lethal, and the flash eat here from Korea saves the day. Really well played from T1 mechanically, and I don't know what happened here. I'm sad we didn't get a replay, but if we look at the top of our screen here, look at the top of our screen. Vi ults right now, the Gragas. Jax is not in range. Jax is going around, Qs, and I think he E-flashed, and I think that Zeus just flashed it. He just flashed it. So here Zeus did a monster job, because Vi has no ult, no flash, no ult Jax, and he's low HP, and Zeus is fucking chasing them down. This is really, really big. I think Shun just went too early based off the map. So now, Xayah used flash, used ult, and also died. So it's the worst case scenario. T1 really, really in the driver's seat in this game now. Here you have On going on the flank. And a beautiful stun here from Yagao. Really, really beautiful stun. I think if Shun Q flashes here and then R's the Tahm-Kench, I think this could be a fight that they play. Because R'ing the Tahm-Kench would allow Yagao to act, and then off of that action, maybe they can actually look to kill the Jinx, right? But ulting Tam is very crucial. You see Shun, he's in the headspace, Orianna's isolated. Orianna, the crown. Beautiful. Everyone has to be sick before fucking quarters, right? It's the standard. And then here, the crown keeps Faker bulky. He's not in any threat. Owner commits with him. And Jinx also flashes over the wall to connect again because he doesn't want to fucking get comboed by Alistar. Elk is stuck. Owner EQs out. And T1 played this beautifully. If you lose, it's because enemy had blue side. And if they were on red side, it means that your team was sick. Now, like, Jinx is just too fucking strong. The only entry point for Bilibili is if Jax can get to 3 core. I really think that if he gets level 16 and Spirit of Sojin, he can actually like carry the game, you know? He can actually carry the game. The thing is, Bin went Hullbreaker in this game because of the Drake spawn. So he basically is in a state of mind where he can get... Hullbreaker has good stats. If you can leverage Hullbreaker to get a tier 2 against a Gragas that has a very hard time clearing it, then he can leverage that into getting Spear of Sojin for the crucial fight in the game. But this is where Bilibili really accelerated the game for no fucking reason. Here also, Yagao ends his buy. Like, I think that he should go Death Cap. I don't know why he pivots to Void. I think he should just go Death Cap. It's perfectly fine to go Death Cap here. He just pivots to Void, and he's left really homeless with his items. Especially something like Syndra, who has, of course, you know, the additional death cap of 120. Yeah, no, for sure. It's like the situation. You know, these are all good actions that buys time. It's like Gragas is showing on mid wave and they're losing the situation 4v5. Yagao's hitting crucial stuns, but On has different plans. He tries to predict the flash, doesn't get it. Perfectly fine trade for flash here, Faker no flash. And Bilibili, they managed to secure a lot of time. They've been. The cannon waves are going to spawn every wave now after 25 minutes, so his damage on the turret is going to matter here. But this is where On soon is going to lose his mind altogether. They get a little chunk here on the Michael Jarvan. And I don't know what's happening. I really don't know what's happening. Like, what is this? What is this? What's happening here? Then Yagao needed to run and he gets EQ'd and all of a sudden this game just blows up. There was some hope. No, it's like Yagao knows Jarvan has no flag. Jarvan no flag, so he walks and then he just plays for some stacks here. This is a disaster, man. This is a disaster. And now they get Nash. And now all of a sudden, you know, it's like here, Bin was on par to be 16 and have Spear of Sojin for the Drake fight. I think Zhonya's is not so strong here, actually. And then that's it. And now it's like the game is just accelerated out of the hands of Jax. It's like he's worked his whole fucking game to get to be 16 and have Spear of Sojin for the big fight, and he has to use Flash, has to fight with before Spear of Sojin, doesn't get to farm, and doesn't have these items for the soul fight. Now the enemy team is very high level too, and Owner plays this fight really fucking well too. Owner Jarvan was very impactful today. Like here, this is a Jax without Sojin. Sucks ass. And that's it. Let's do predictions. Predictions and breakdowns. KT Rolster versus D plus Kia. I think KT is the better team. Tenki, you need to do some editing today on the rundown, bro. Like, I went to the bathroom, I talked about Palestine, free Palestine, stop the genocide, stop the ethnic cleansing, free Palestine, long live Palestine. And then I went to the bathroom a couple of times too. This is a choppy one. All right, KT Rolster versus D plus Kia. I think KT Rolster is just a stronger team. I think the key thing here is that they have the better bot lane, and I think that BDD is strong enough to do as good or better than Showmaker. I think it is really, really good. The only hope for Damwon is that Cannon goes Super Saiyan, but that's been something that people have been waiting for the whole year, and it's not it, you know? It's not it. I really don't think it's it. And I think that KT have the better top laner, the better bot lane, and I think the gap there is too big. Don't undersell him? Yeah, I put... So I don't know if you saw it, Steph Curry Sim, but I put Showmaker as my 5th best performing mid laner right after the first initial round of BO1s and BO3s. I think Showmaker has been doing pretty fucking well, besides buying items like a Griefer. That's it, you know? So I think Kate is gonna win this one. I think they're favorites. Are you gonna make a player tier list after Swiss ends? Yeah, we're gonna do a Western player tier list. We're gonna do a Hey, we're gonna do all of that good stuff. Don't worry about it. Fnatic versus Weibo. This is a very interesting one. Very interesting one. I think the Shy has been playing well. I think in the top side, the Shy has been playing well. I don't think the Shy is some kind of liability. No, he's fucking good, by the way. He's fucking good. The main surprise about Weibo for me is just that Xiaohu hasn't been so strong. I think Xiaohu could do more. I think that Weiwei has been fantastic. I think Weiwei has been really, really good. And I think when it comes to bot, I don't think that... I think that even though Light has not been performing so well, I would rather put stock in Light than Noah. I think that Trimby makes like macro mistakes. So I don't think that they have like some massive edge when it comes to bot lane. I think the key thing for me when it comes to Fnatic is like how well can Humanoid play? That is my big question. It's like how well can Humanoid play? Because I think that Humanoid having like a piece, like big performance is really key. Bot should be the deciding factor. Thing is, for both of these teams, they haven't been. Like, Noah had a good Aphelios games, but other than that, I feel like he's been rather silent, you know? And I think Light is a player that becomes better the deeper you go into the champion pool, because I think he's kind of like a player that likes to play a little bit of everything, rather than being a specialist. So, I think that Weiwei versus Razork, I think Weiwei has shown a little bit better. But I think for me, the key thing is Humanoid versus Xiaohu. But I think that Weibo should be favored in this. Weibo should be favored in this. But I think Fnatic can definitely win. I don't think it's like completely one-sided. Because both of these teams are rather flawed. And Fnatic has had a very tough schedule. Like, Fnatic has had a not so easy schedule. Weibo 110 versus Fnatic 650. Wow. Wow, that's crazy. Would you agree with that line, Steph Curry? I think that's mental. That is crazy. That is crazy. That is really nuts. G2 versus Billy Billy. It's like... Billy Billy has shown flaws. Where have they shown flaws? I think that Yagao's Oriana Gaming has been a little bit unsatisfactory. I think that Bin has been a monster. I think Bin has played fucking really good. Bin has played fantastic. For me, the main thing that has been bad for Billy Billy is just On. I don't know, On has not been playing well. I think On has not been playing well. But if we take G2's today into account, like, G2 played horrible today. I think G2, they got carried across the line in some of the BO1s that they won through the efforts of Caps and Mickey. I think that Hans Sama, Yike, and also Broken Blade, they have not had great tournaments. They have not had great tournaments. And my concern is that if Mickey is not playing Rakan and Caps is not playing Orianna, that they are not bringing enough firepower from their position to cover up for the mistakes of everybody else. I think that tomorrow G2 Esports will be eliminated. There's definitely a lot of factors at play. I am very surprised, guys. I am very surprised that they played the 2-1 matches. So look, Fnatic, Mad Lions Weibo, and Damwon Gam were the first matches played. Why did the teams that were 1-2, why did they get more time to rebound and relax than the teams that were 2-1? I'm not sure. So now G2 Bilibili have now created a disadvantage due to winning games earlier. And it could be just a scheduling thing, because let's be honest, these two matches were by far the biggest matches. By far the two biggest matches that had the most hype. So putting it on a Friday or a Saturday, what day is it today, bro? I don't even know, bro. It's Saturday. Putting it on a Saturday, I get it. And now, for example, you know, these teams now need to play already tomorrow. Some teams get cold after a break though. Yeah, but they come off a loss. That's the key thing, right? That's the key thing. They come off a loss. While it is something that is intangible and less measurable, there's definitely teams that come off a loss and become better. There's definitely that. I'm just saying what is more likely, okay? I think it's more likely to come off a loss and play the next day, you know, especially with the crushing defeat that they saw today, that the night of and the day tomorrow is there's a lot to be done, you know? KT had seed over D+, Fnatic had seed over Weibo, G2 had seed over Bilibili. That matters, but I think we've gotten to the point where teams are accurate enough with the red side bans that red side actually becomes good. And that is my take. Blue side enjoys out there. Now when we see Rumble bans and Zaya bans and Orianna trades with Azir, the red side drafts are looking good. And that's it.